Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Today we continue our 2021 webinar series with a special topic and a few special guests. So let me introduce Madison Anderson from Cisco Webex to kick off Increase Your Productivity with Webex and Box.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name is Madison and I'm from the Webex marketing team. And today we have Gary joining us from the Webex product management team and Jess joining us from the Box product marketing team. Today is a super special day for both Box and Webex. We're super excited to announce this integration that we have with all of you that are joining us today. And our session will be as follows. So Jess is going to kick us off with a description of Box integrations. And then we're going to hop over to Gary. He's going to talk about the integration with Webex and Box and then give us a live demo. And then I will wrap us up with Q&A. And with that, I'm going to kick it off to Jess.
Awesome. Thanks, Madison. Hey, everyone. I'm Jess, a product marketing manager at Box. I'm thrilled to be here today to chat and share a bit about Box, as well as how we're collaborating with Webex to release updates to our existing integration to further enable seamless, secure remote work. For context, Box is the Content Cloud, a single platform that enables organizations to manage the entire content lifecycle, work securely from anywhere, and integrate across best-of-breed apps, such as Webex. Our mission at Box is to power how the world works together. Founded back in 2005, Box is a leader in the cloud content management space, with over 95,000 customers spread across the globe, including over 67% of the Fortune 500. Now, in an ever-changing world, we know that it's more important than ever that teams everywhere are enabled to work effectively how, when, and where they want to. Users are relying on companies like Box and Cisco to fuel this new way of working, as work is no longer somewhere you go, but something that you do. Enterprises today are also not just working on one type of file, they're working on many, and they communicate regarding this content with a variety of technologies. The beauty of Box is that we encourage our users to build and customize their tech stacks so that they can maximize efficiency and output across their teams. Our ecosystem of over 1,500 integrations powers communication across your files and folders, enables productivity, and centralizes business content. Plus, users can have greater peace of mind knowing that Box's enterprise-grade security and compliance is applied across all Box content. Box for Webex is the epitome of an integration that truly enables our users to work better and smarter. With the enhancements announced today, Webex will be a recommended app within Box, which allows users to start and schedule Webex meetings or to share content, all from within Box. Box app activity will also deliver a unified view that reflects Webex activity back in Box. So simply put, the Box Content Cloud gives enterprises one secure platform for managing the entire content journey. And we know that content is often extended to other platforms like Webex where users collaborate. Again, we're so excited to deliver these enhancements to the Box for Webex integration so that your teams can work better together. We're super proud to partner with Cisco to continue simplifying teamwork across all of our joint customers. And with that, I'll hand things over to Gary.
Thanks, Jess. So we recognize that content is at the heart of the work you do. But for content to have any value within an organization, you need to collaborate with your teams on it. Think about any document that you've created and the effort that goes into the conversations that you need to drive around that content, even to get it to a final state or to maintain it in a state where it's up to date. Webex in partnership with Box is simplifying that path from first draft to final copy, from idea or concept to a final committed plan. We're making it easier for you to collaborate on content in real time and seamlessly with users within or outside your organization. We're super excited to bring you this integration today. Let's look at a few market problems and stats. What's happened over the last 10 years is that there's been a big exponential proliferation of apps. We as employees are switching between apps way more than we did a few years back. And this is leading to productivity losses. Another problem is the lack of face-to-face interaction. With geographically dispersed or hybrid teams, team members are not getting a lot of face-to-face time. This sentiment was echoed by 42% of respondents in a Cisco-led survey earlier this year. We're looking to solve these problems through the Box Webex integration. Next slide, please. We're looking to minimize app switching between apps. And that's what the integration brings, embedding Webex within Box. We're also enabling live communication through video-enabled, quick access to video-enabled meetings. So you can have face-to-face conversations when it matters most and when you need to make decisions quickly and get your work done faster. So let's take a look at how all of this works. So I'm currently within the Box folder, and there are two ways that you can access this integration. One is by clicking on the ellipses, and then when you bring up the integrations, there's the Share in Webex app. If you don't see the app there, you can go into your account profile, click on Apps, and then add the Share in Webex app. If you don't see it there, you can reach out to your IT admin or your Box admin to ensure that they have enabled it. The other way to access this integration is when you are in a file preview. Click on the Share in Webex app right here. This is just a pop-up to ensure that Webex and Box can share information. You can just click on OK. If you don't want the pop-up to show in future, you can just select the checkbox. I'm going to click on OK here. Put in the Webex address. Next. Now this brings up the different ways that you can collaborate on a file within Webex. For those times when things are on fire and you need to make a decision quickly, you can always spin up an impromptu meeting. I'm going to click on Start a Meeting here. You can see that the name of the file is automatically populated in the meeting topic. That's to provide context, but of course you can go and edit it. You can add all 5 collaborators to the meeting with a single click. This is a big time saver right here. Or I can choose to invite select few folks. Across the top right here, I can modify the access permission settings on this file. Right now it's set to anyone with the link, which means that if this link was forwarded, anyone who had access to it would be able to open the file. But you can change it to make it more restrictive and change it to maybe invited people only. I'm going to leave it the way it is. And there's a conveniently generated meeting link that you can copy and share in any of the communication channels within your organization, maybe post it in a Webex space. When you click on Start Meeting, everyone that you invited to the meeting is going to get an invitation, and they'll be able to join the meeting through that invitation. I'm going to cancel out and go back to the main page, look at other ways that we can collaborate. For times when things are not on fire, let's say you're kicking off a project and you want to invite everybody to a project kickoff, you can schedule a planned meeting. There's the same concept of providing the context and bringing the file name over as the meeting topic. And there's the date and time picker, the time zones for your convenience to select. Again, you can do a single click add of all collaborators or do select few. So let's just say that I'm going to invite Charles and Kelly to this call. And you can see that the calendar availability is dynamically updated. So it makes it easy to plan a meeting at a time that's convenient to everybody. I can scroll through the calendar and look at availability on different days. There's a meeting password that can be edited. I'm going to cancel out of this and go back to the main page again. Did want to draw attention to the upcoming meetings here. We want you to have visibility to what your day looks like before you go and start or schedule a meeting from Box so that you can plan your day better. Now let's look at another way to collaborate, and that's Webex Faces. As you can see here, this document has already been shared in all of these spaces. And if I click on View, it will cross-launch those spaces. With geographically dispersed teams, Webex Faces is a great way to ensure that the conversation around your content always stays on. It keeps teams engaged, and it allows people to work in their own time, but still keep the teams updated, asynchronously keep the teams updated. So let's go ahead and create a space. Again, the file name is pre-populated here. Now let's just say that I was creating this space to update my executive leadership team. And let's just say I wanted to add Anita and Charles to the space. And I can populate a description here. So let's say I put in monthly review with ELT. I'm going to click on create new space. So what's happening in the background is it's setting up the space, adding the people that I selected to add to the space. And then you can click on open Webex app. I have the Webex app open here. As you can see, that space was added with the 2 people that had added in Box. Right here in the Messages tab, the description that we provided in Box is populated here, and a few additional details about the file, the owner, when it was created, last modified. And then this link here takes you to the file in Box. But what's really neat here is this tab, this dedicated tab, which has a link to the file. Now this provides quick and easy access to the content. So let's say 6 months in and 100 messages later, you don't need to go scrolling through different messages to look for content or search for content in the content tab. It's pinned right here for easy and convenient access. And it keeps your teams engaged within Webex Faces, which is the platform of collaboration. But it has the content threaded right through in terms of this embedded access to the file. If we go back to Box now, there's no restriction on the number of spaces that you can really create associated with a file. As you can see, we've got quite a few spaces associated to this file. So let's say I had to create an HR policy document. And to complete that document, I need to collaborate with benefits, payroll, finance, legal. I can spin up separate spaces because my needs and goals in working with those departments are fairly distinct. So I can spin up separate spaces, all mapped to the same file, and continue to have those conversations. So to summarize, if there are 3 things that we want you to remember from this integration today, is that when you're kicking off a project or you're starting a document, organize your teams into different spaces depending on how you'll be collaborating with them. This will drive engagement. It will make sure that the conversation is always happening, even when your teams are in different time zones. It will ensure that people can provide updates, timely updates, and keep the progress going and get work done faster. When you do need to make a quick decision, you can always start up an impromptu meeting, or you could even set up a space, a dedicated space for escalations, and add key team members there. And then for those instances where you do want to plan ahead, you can always schedule a meeting.
There's been a few questions that have come up that I would love to ask you guys. The first one, I'm going to go to you, Jess. So the question is there an additional cost for using Box and Webex together in the integrations you've described in the demo?
Great question. No. So long as the user is a paying customer of both Webex and Box, then there is no additional cost to use the integration.
Awesome. This next question, Gary, I'm going to pass it on to you. And the question is, can I invite someone who is not a file collaborator to a Webex meeting?
Absolutely. There's no restriction to who you can invite. They have to have a Box license, of course, to access the document, but they don't even have to be a part of your own organization. You can add email addresses and add external people who are external to your organization. When you schedule a meeting, the invites will go out to them and they'll be able to join the Webex meeting.
Awesome. And then for Webex Faces that were created from a Box document, is it possible to add additional tabs?
Absolutely, yes. And tabs are a very well-received feature for Webex Faces, so we do encourage you to use them to keep conversations focused around content that is key to driving project delivery. So even though this integration automatically creates and adds a tab for you, there's no restriction on adding additional tabs. You just have to click on the plus icon across the top, go ahead and add other tabs. You drop a URL link in there, and then you have multiple tabs that your team can access as part of those Webex Spaces.
Perfect. And then one more for you, Gary. It's asking, can you share existing Box documents in Webex Spaces?
Yes, that's a great question. That's an existing integration that we have with Box, where, you know, if you're in a space, you can even link a Box account to that space, and that makes it really easy to add additional documents to the space. There's a small paperclip icon through which you typically attach documents, and you can, if you don't have a Box account linked, you typically go to the paperclip and you would select a file on your desktop. But if you have a Box account linked, it's very easy to go and navigate and browse through your Box folders and attach files to any space.
Awesome. And then one more question, Jess, I'm going to pass this one your way. It's asking, how can we get this integration enabled in our Box and Webex accounts?
Yeah, so Gary did a great job showing how users can enable this, but if you are looking at things from the admin side, the only thing I'd add is that the administrator needs to click on their apps in the admin console, scroll to the individual app controls, clear the filters, and then search there for Share in Webex. You'll find the integration right there, and then they can select Configure for the integration, and then just make sure that it's added by default to ensure that the integration shows up for all your users. And then your team should be ready to go to use Box and Webex together.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for joining us today. I'm going to kick it back to Joe.
Hey, so really everybody, on behalf of Madison and our speakers and our guests and all the questions that just came in, we want to say thank you. Thank you for your participation in joining today. And that concludes our webinar. Have a great rest of your day.